Welcome into a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Jay Morgan Harder is in the house. And this is a big show, man. Like, this is a big show for so many multiple reasons. Multiples are always great, by the way.
Is it because Dustin Starr is coming on and the Big Show is a wrestler?
That's why I said multiple reasons. That's one reason.
The Big Show's a wrestler. We have a wrestling person coming on. It's a big show.
Big show. Also have a little baseball, like day baseball. That makes it a big show. You know that?
I went in this morning, John. I handicapped every baseball game for the listeners' pleasure today.
My man woke up just tooting, cutting it up,
and I also handicapped baseball.
Baseball this morning. So he's rocking and raring to go. Yesterday, Jay, you didn't lose a game. I lost one. I lost the first game of the day.
Even that Yerfie hit.
And, oh, my gosh, yesterday was a beautiful day of baseball, and it wasn't just because I won a lot of money. It was because, man, it's playoff baseball, and it's just different, and it feels different. You see the emotion, and you watch, like, that damn Diamondbacks-Brewers game I thought was just off the chain. I had the Diamondbacks, the emotional roller coaster of that baseball game. I thought was just, that's what playoff baseball is about. A regular season Diamondbacks-Brewers game, you know, I'm going to be paying attention. I'm going to be into it. But, man, everything you saw from the defensive plays to the bad base running by the Brewers to Corbin Carroll. Brewers jumped out on top from the jump. You know what I'm saying? First inning, how you like me now? Second inning, ooh, you like me a little bit more. It's 3-0. Arizona, I feel like they're starting to look about game two. But what did I tell you what happens when a team goes down by a couple runs early in a game before the third inning?
What did you tell me, John?
You always jump on that dog. There's too much baseball left, and we saw the Diamondbacks come back. Evan Longoria with defensive plays that were out of control.
Web chimp. I was just, actually, Bryant and I were just laughing about Evan Longoria making that play because he told his brother while they were watching, he goes, I bet you they get a double play here, and you can get live right now, plus 136 if you hammer the D-backs. And sure enough, ball hit to Evan Longoria. He goes, Evan Longoria, of all people, made the play. I go, that name is so funny in retrospect to say that because there was a time where Evan Longoria was bleeping Gold Gloves. I mean, they were coming out of his ass. He was getting so many.
When he started out at Tampa Bay, when he was a youngster, it was
But now he's like 40. Now he's 40-something, and it's different.
Good years with the Giants.
But in 10 years, you go, I never expected Evan Longoria to make this play. People are going to be like, what are you talking about? The guy was, he was crapping Gold Gloves, left and right.
Well, also, if you just saw the preparation, anticipation, and doing exactly what a third baseman's supposed to do, he creeped in, and right as the ball was being pitched, he got down into his power position where you're going down, and that way you just react. So he's down, like pretty low, and the ball's up, and he's able to leap high. If the ball's down, you're able to continue to go down if you need to go left or right. He's in the perfect position, perfect fielding position. He was ready to make the play. And then later in the ball game, when the balls hit up, the awareness to not force something to first base when he booted that ball a little bit coming across the infield, and then he gets the guy at second base by faking the throw. Longo had Evan Longoria was just out of control yesterday. Corbin Carroll was buck wild. The confidence that little guy has, the speed, the pop. It was absolutely
5'2" guy, John. You never see a guy that runs that fast and has that good a glove hit the way he does.
Dude, he just does everything. And I don't know where he gets 443-foot power. That was a damn. And the bat flip was straight pimping.
You know what they call that, John? They call it twitchy.
My goodness.
He's a bit twitchy.
Quick twitch, man. Just don't say that too many times fast.
No, we'll curse on the radio then. I actually heard Mookie Betts and J.D. Martinez talking about watching Ronald Acuna play and just being in awe of his twitchiness. There's one meme that goes around of them both making faces when Ronald Acuna hit a ball. It was 122 off the bat or something like that. And they were like, oh, that has to be a mistake. That had to be messed up. But no, he 122 off the bat. He's a monster.
Well, just also speaking of quick twitch, do you remember what I said yesterday about the Twins? I was like, I like the Twins. It's all going to be on their health. You saw Carlos Correa, who's been battling plantar fasciitis all year long, make a great defensive play. But did you see, for me yesterday, the big moment for the Twins wasn't just that they hadn't won since 2004 in the postseason. By the way, that's just unbelievable, is it not?
Yeah, that's crazy. They had some good teams in that span as well.
Crazy.
But they also had some really good teams that couldn't win at all.
They got dominated by the Yankees, too. Yeah. It felt like year in and year out in the first round of the playoffs for a while.
And this was back before they had this wild card series like that, so I remember them losing like the one-off game a couple times.
Justin Morneau and deadgum
Joe
Mauer just couldn't get it done. It was
Torrey Hunter. They didn't win much with Torrey Hunter in the outfield either.
Spider-Man just climbing, robbing home runs, climbing walls. Man. But anyway, back to that Twins team. Like, for me, I thought talk about quick twitch. Did you see what Royce Clayton did in that first inning?
Yeah, dinger, John.
Bro, the ball inside on his hands, 97 miles an hour, gets his hands inside and just blasted that John. And for me, I love the fact that Royce Lewis is doing this because he was the 2017 number 1 overall pick. He was supposed to be the dude, and then it just felt like everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Murphy's Law, he had 2 ACL injuries. Remember, he couldn't come to the United States because of COVID. Had missed that entire year as well. Like, he missed over 3.5 seasons of playing baseball, and then to be able to come back. Also was a little injured this year.
But he had every RBI because he had an RBI in the third inning too. He literally batted in every run the Twins scored yesterday.
Dude, he was awesome.
And Gausman was off to a bad start, and that
Pablo Lopez was nasty. By the way, though,
John,
dude, they had something. Can I tell you something? I'm being dead serious when I say this. If you go back and watch that ball game, I'm telling you right now. How many starting pitchers in baseball really depend on just 2 pitches, the fastball and the seeker? Kevin Gausman's one of the very, very few because it's nasty. He plays from the same arm slot. He was tipping his pitches. I don't know. I couldn't figure out what it was, but watch the takes, especially from their good hitters. The damn dude, the splitter. The sinker. They're not even waving at it. But man, when they were throwing the fastball, they were teeing off on that John. I'm telling you, Gausman was tipping his pitches yesterday.
Yeah, 4 innings and he walked 3 guys yesterday. Prior to that, John. No, he's been walking a lot of guys all month, but I was surprised to see him walk so many guys yesterday. Quite frankly,
dude's got a lot of swing and miss. Didn't have it yesterday. Twins got a big one, and then the Twins today get to go out there with Sonny Gray on the bump against Jose Barrios. I think this thing's OV.
Yeah, there was not a lot of good prices on this game because there was a lot of
the best one I saw was minus 140.
Everyone's pretty sure about everything. I found a really good price though on Jose Barrios' strikeout numbers.
Over 5.5,
plus 115.
I looked at that today.
Over has hit in his last 5 games, each of his last 5 games, and 7 of his last 10. He's gotten over 5.5 strikeouts. So seems like percentage wise for plus 115 is a pretty good odds for that one.
Yeah, it was a great day of baseball. We got a whole lot more baseball. By the way, the Phillies aren't going to beat themselves. Zach Wheeler looked dominant. The bullpen does what it does. Phillies just kind of do what they do.
Today's going to be a real good game.
Marlins, didn't look very.
The Marlins bats. I've been very dismissive because the Marlins are so beat up.
Yesterday, by the way,
the Marlins have bats, man, and that's what got them in the playoffs. Truly,
bro, the Brewers had 12 hits yesterday and couldn't score with 3 runs because they were running themselves out of. They had horrible base running yesterday. The Brewers did, and also again, great glove work by everybody for the Diamondbacks, it felt like, especially though Evan Longoria.
Defensive powerhouse. But no, John, I'm going to say it. I like the Marlins today.
Oh,
I like the
Marlins. That's a 7 o'clock. That's the late game tonight on ESPN against the Phillies. You got, Garrett and Aaron Nola is pitching for Philly. That's why you're taking Miami.
Braxton Garrett hasn't been great, but Aaron Nola, he had a horrible month of September.
Yes, he did. That's why I said you're betting against him.
5.5 ERA was really bad. If you could fade him and Evaldi in a certain amount of ways today, because Evaldi had a 9.3 ERA in September, these are 2 guys that you can get some value for in betting against. The Marlins had success against Aaron Nola this year as well, but on the other hand, Braxton Garrett's pitched twice against the Phillies, and they've had success against him as well. So there could be runs in this game, but for plus 135 in your first 5 money line, I think the Marlins are worth a shot today because Noah's been really bad. That's a really good price. I can't pass up that value, even though the Marlins are a bit beat up. But
I feel what you're saying.
It's in the pitching staff, though,
I feel what you're saying with that value, and I definitely hear what you're saying with the pitching staff. That's why I was on Minnesota, Pablo Lopez. I was loving him yesterday. There's a lot of things to love, but, man, I'm going to Evaldi.
Oh, Evaldi's terrible.
And let me just tell you something right now. He has been terrible of late, but this is the other thing. We're not looking at Zach Eflin. I don't know if you realize this. Have you looked at where Zach Eflin ranks in the season statistics?
I've not, but I'm betting on Zach Eflin today in a big way. I've got props for him and props against Evaldi. But where does he rank for the season, John?
16 wins. That's tied for third. His xERA is 3.09, tied for third. His walks per 9, 1.2 is second. Opponent's batting average, 264, which is second. I mean, on base percentage, that's not batting average. If that was his batting average, it'd be terrible. On base percentage, 264. And his WAR, his pitching WAR is 4.8, which is ninth in baseball. I found that absolutely crazy when I was looking at these numbers. And I didn't realize that he has the highest percentage of pitches on the edge of the zone this season. 46.2% of his pitches are on the edge. That's a good thing if you're going against a damn disciplined team like the Rangers who like to hit the hell out the baseball.
Yeah, when I was looking at Eflin this morning, striking out, I got a lot of guys, like you said, he paints corners really well. 5.5 strikeouts for him.
And this is your season, baby.
Over his plus 125 for him today. That would have hit in 5 of his last 7 starts. The 2 it wouldn't have hit against is Miami. It has the 12th fewest Ks in the last 30 days, and this one is really weird. The other one it didn't hit against is his last start in September at Boston, who has struck out the most of any team in baseball in the last 30 days. Dang. That's one of the 2 games he didn't get over in. That's crazy, but that gives me confidence that he's going to have a lot of strikeouts today. He's been really good. And the Rangers, to go along with that, 14th most Ks in the last 30 days. That's kind of middle of the road, so it doesn't necessarily make you feel better, but it certainly doesn't make you feel worse. I think Eflin gets some strikeouts today as well. I really like that. I like that number quite a bit.
And I also, I like to have to say, I like laying the number today minus the 40.
Really?
Because Tampa Bay's not having 4 damn errors in a baseball game. I mean, that was the most they've ever had in a playoff game. That was a terribly that was the execution in that game was just pretty sad.
Yeah, when they airmailed that one over third base that scored.
After batting the ball up in the air, man, that was just woo.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
That was painful.
Yeah, that was an ugly game yesterday. That was the first game of the day, wasn't it?
Yes, it
sure
was.
Yeah,
and I was like, man, is this the way things are going to go, man? And then, of course, I mean, it was just great. Yesterday was great again. Thanks. Start back at 2 o'clock today. You got Rangers and the Rays at 2. At 3:30, you got Blue Jays and the Twins. I love Sonny Gray. I like the 2 favorites in the first one if we're just talking about games and sides. The Diamondbacks and the Brewers game, I'm not going to lie to you. I have no clue today in game 2.
I can help you here.
Oh, thank goodness, because Gallen is on the bump. And I'm just going to give you from here, if I'm from a coaching perspective.
Okay.
You're going to empty the tank with Gallen. You're going to reset your bullpen and your rotation for if you do not win today, that you've got all hands on deck. That from Merrill Kelly, you have all your best bullets, like all your best relievers have their best bullets in the back of that bullpen for a game number 3 because you've already got one. You know what I mean?
That makes me feel really good about a bet that I placed this morning, John. Zach Gallen to have over 5.5 hits allowed. First of all, it's gone over in 6 of his last 8. The 2 it didn't go. He had a 9-inning, he had a complete game shutout against the Cubs at the beginning of September, playing their worst baseball of the year, 3-hit game there, and then randomly a 3-hit game at the end of September at the Yankees, also a team totally out of contention and everywhere. Every other game, it's over 5.5, and you're telling me today they're not going to go to the bullpen very quickly and keep him out there?
I think Zach pitches 7 innings.
Plus 115 is what you get for over 5.5 hits allowed. That's really good value for it just to be high percentage of it happening anyway there. I'll tell you what, I
mean, if you're the coach, are you not doing this? Are you not going to back Merrill Kelly with your best arms tomorrow since you're forcing the game 3?
I mean, there's really 2 schools
and
of
plus,
thought there.
I mean, Zach Gallen's supposed to be your guy. I mean, this is your dude. Let him go out there and be your horse for 7 innings. God forbid you don't win. Hey, my bullpen is so ready for game number 3.
How about this, though? When looking at Gallen's numbers here, I just mentioned that complete game shutout against the Cubs, and that was in September, and also that 6-inning shutout against the Yankees was in September. With those 2 games, not allowing any runs in 15 innings, his ERA was 4.17 in September. This guy is not pitching well. And I'm fading him in this game, quite frankly, John. In the first 5 innings,
but I'm telling you, they're going to let him pitch. He's gonna go out there and maybe he gives up runs today, but he's gonna go out there and he's gonna eat them up.
Well, that's why I like the over 5.5 hits. Then that's for sure I like. But I like Milwaukee first 5 plus 115 at minus half a run as well. Because I just don't think Gowan has been pitching well enough. And furthermore, I think
Peralta, on the other hand, has been pitching
well. He's been pitching great, John, and I have over 5.5 Ks for him as well today.
And
8
the
of his
Brewers
last
had
10.
12 hits yesterday and could only score 3 runs because they were just playing stupid baseball on the base paths.
Yeah, this is the game I had the most plays on. I have 4 plays on this game, and I kind of like all of them. I feel like they all kind of complement each other fairly well also, and we'll get more into that later too. But this is the game I'm really looking at today.
Also, got to give the Brewers, and especially Contreras, a hell of a lot of credit for a team that nobody stole on the Brewers like Major League Baseball, but one other team. Like, you know what I mean? They were the second worst team. Like, they gave up so many stolen bases, it was ridiculous. And then Contreras yesterday, I thought, caught a great game. You saw him throw out Corbin Carroll in the 7th inning.
He's got a little bit of his brother in him. He's kind of lazy back there.
Yeah, he's lazy during the regular season, but you could tell he was on his game yesterday. And did you see how fired up he was after he threw out Corbin Carroll? Holy man!
I tell you what, there's few things in sports that get me as excited watching it as watching a catcher get excited when he guns someone down at second base.
By the way, if I got to mention a catcher, Moreno. By the way, another rookie, and the rookie who gets talked about is Corbin Carroll for the Diamondbacks. But Gabriel Moreno is going to be a stud. The kid's 23 years old, and he is a already top 12 catcher in Major League Baseball today. Watch out for this kid. He's going to be bad. I mean, he is nasty back there behind that plate.
He's a good player for sure.
So we've been talking a lot of baseball, haven't we? Woo.
Well, John, it's playoff time in Tennessee.
Baseball. By the way, I got a great statistic for you. I saw this and I could not believe it. Are you ready to hear something? So we've been talking a lot of baseball. That means we didn't have football last night, right?
Let's hear it.
But check this out. Today is the last day without a NFL or college football game on TV until November 22nd. That's 50 straight days of football leading into Thanksgiving. How you like me now?
I think that's from yesterday, John. I think that starts today, the 50 straight days. I think there's
does the MAC start tonight?
I think there's a college game tonight. Yeah,
well, I'm
going to
be on an airplane. I'm going to do a little wiggling up in
Red
Rocks.
John Denver leaving on a jet plane.
Leaving on a jet plane right after the show, heading to the airport. Yo, FAA, what's up? I'm coming. Or what are they? What are the people that always check me?
Brian made a terrible
TSA.
joke about John Denver right there. I mean, awful joke. He goes, "Be careful mentioning John Denver when you're flying."
Oh no,
because he may have died in a plane crash.
Dude, that's terrible.
Jim Croce also died in a plane crash.
My girlfriend told me that I'm probably not going to make it and I'm going to die in a plane crash because she couldn't believe it.
No, come on. Yeah, that's now, and Bryant's making jokes about that too. That's just unacceptable behavior.
And then I watched Jack Bauer last night, and that's what they were doing in like season 7.
Wow, you've got a long way in that. You come a long way in 24.
Dude, don't play no games, man. You can't go to sleep after a big loss. It can help you forget about it.
Because some people, that's true though.
I was serious.
Some people lose interest in a show after a while, but that's one, John, you've grinded through, and God bless you for it.
Thank you. I'm a better person for it. Sorry, how did I get just so? Oh yeah, because I'm leaving on a jet plane, and now I'm getting nervous. And the reason though, my girl doesn't think I'm flying on a real airplane. Did I not tell you about all my friends? We actually got round trip tickets for $60 to Denver, like direct flight.
Wow,
isn't that ridiculous?
What airline? Can you say the airline? We're not sponsored by any airlines.
I don't think so.
Spirit?
I think I'm flying on Frontier.
Oh, Frontier, that's one, yeah.
So is that one that's like? I mean, does it have a good landing record?
I'm a little too. Oh, for sure. I'm a little too bougie to fly on Frontier. You know.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, they'll get you there, but not your bags.
Man, I don't worry about it. I'm just going for to party and I got like 2 pair of jeans and some boxers.
They'll give you a seat. They'll give you a seat, but you have to pay for the back part of the seat.
You have to pay for the what?
Yeah, like they'll give you like the bottom part you sit on, and then but they have to pay for the back part of the seat.
That is not true.
And then like if there's like an oxygen shortage, you have to pay for the mask to come down. Yeah, that's right. That's how Frontier works.
That's how Frontier rolls. Well,
that's why it's $60 to fly.
That's all right. I'm cool with that.
That's right.
I'm just going out to have a little fun. By the way, also this is your last show with me.
That's right, John, because you're going out of town for the rest of the week and next week, and I'll be gone by the time you get back.
So if anybody out there wants to send some sweet nothings, 901-360-8255.
Well, you got a whole week and a half to do it, so you don't have to do it today.
Well, it'll be the last time I get to read
Yeah, it's the last time you get to see them. People say, good riddance.
You got some good jokes for me or anything?
Like right now?
I mean, not off the hand.
I'll have some for sure.
All right.
I'll have some at some point. Instead of writing jokes this morning, I made bets. See, it's hard to guess sometimes. Listen, it's hard to guess sometimes.
And I had such a good day yesterday. I'm leaving town today. You know what? I've been kind of, I think, lying to myself because I've been looking at the baseball all day. But I'm like, you know what? I'm just not even going to bet today. I'm just going to go out of town and not worry about anything. Please. There's too much good action today.
Cut your units in half, maybe, if you feel that way. And that's like a compromise. You know what I mean? You're not giving all the way into betting, but you're not giving all the way into not betting. You have your unit size.
Last show, and you just gave me earth-shattering advice.
Is that good advice?
That's great advice.
How about that?
If you don't want to care, just half your units.
That's what I do that sometimes.
I like that. We got Dustin Starr on the other side. We got to talk some wrestling. Jay?
I've got tons of questions.
You do?
Oh, John, I've got more than we have time for. So as soon as we can get to that's great with me.
Well, hey, I'm going to do it fast, just like they do it over at Scooters Plus. If you want to go fast, go get you a dirt bike. Go get you an ATV, a UTV. How about you like to chill around in your golf cart when you're down at Pickwick or you're at Sardis or you're I don't know, Heber, you're chilling around. If you got a new little place, man, go get you a golf cart. By the way, if you live right around here even, have a golf cart. There's a couple people on my street who are always using their golf carts. I have a feeling I know why they're using their golf carts, by the way. I think you're allowed to have alcoholic beverage and drive a golf cart because they do that at the golf courses, right?
I don't want to incriminate myself, but yes.
Yeah, because nobody's out there on a golf course giving you a DUI.
No, I've never gotten a Dewey on a golf course yet.
So, man, head on over to Scooters Plus. Again, Scooters Plus, they have right now a blowout. It's an inventory reduction sale. They're getting ready for the holiday season. So get in there, get everything. Huge sale going on. They're at 3425 Summer Avenue. Parts, repairs, sales, and service. Plus, they have financing options available. And right now, they can do layaway. Put $25 down, leave it there, pick it up on Christmas. Big, bang, boom. Life is good. Scooters Plus and scootersplus.us. Dustin Starr's next. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. Catering has been our specialty for almost 40 years. Corky's makes it easy for you to impress your guests at parties, family reunions, weddings, or just treating your hardworking employees to a great meal to say thank you. Let us do all the work and you take all the credit. We will come to your location, set up and serve your hungry guests an all-you-can-eat barbecue buffet starting at only $9.99 per person.
Corky's Barbecue.
Looking for your next car? Give Car Corner a try. Car Corner, located at 2653 Mount Moriah. They specialize in cars under $15,000. Bad credit? No problem at Car Corner. CarCornerMemphis.com. That's CarCornerMemphis.com. They even have cash cars under $7,000. That's Car Corner at 2653 Mount Moriah. CarCornerMemphis.com. Look for the building with the teal green roof.
Your brain is an amazing thing, but as you get older, it naturally begins to change, causing a lack of sharpness or even trouble with recall. Thankfully, the breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain and actually improves memory. The secret is an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. Based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired, Prevagen has been shown to improve memory. A Pharmacy Times national survey of pharmacists rated Prevagen the #1 pharmacist-recommended memory support brand for the 5th year in a row. You can find it in the vitamin aisle in stores everywhere without a prescription. Help your memory. Try Prevagen today. Prevagen. Healthier brain, better life. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour is brought to you by Scooters Plus on Summer Avenue. Here once again is Johnny Radio.
Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes gravity.
It's Wednesday. You know what that means. Dustin Starr is live on the phone from the Family Leisure Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. It's Johnny Radio's Happy Hour. And Dustin, thank you so much for joining us as usual. I have to tell you here first, I have to apologize first of all because last week you brought up something I should have had a follow-up about, but full disclosure, I am very new in the wrestling scene, so I'm really just learning. I don't have a keen eye for it the way you do, and one of my favorite wrestlers is Ray Phoenix, who recently won the International Championship from Jon Moxley, and you mentioned last week that it was really dangerous what he did with Moxley, and I kind of was lost on me what you said that, and I went back and watched it again, and I discovered what you were talking about. So Jon Moxley just became the champion with this new belt, International Champion, and he was supposed to retain the belt 2 weeks ago at Grand Slam AEW, and one of the pile drivers that Ray Phoenix gave him, he was injured, and you can see him on the screen saying, pin me, and Ray Phoenix, I guess, kind of panicked and did another pile driver, and you said that is very dangerous behavior. That was totally lost on me, so I want to apologize, and I want to give you a chance to kind of explain more. A lot of people will say, when wrestling and stuff like that, oh, it's fake, it's not real and stuff like that, but they're really beating the crap out of each other, and there's a huge chance you could get injured. So I want to give you a chance to expand on that a little bit. I apologize for not asking about it last week.
Well, what's going on, by the way? It's all fired up. It's Wednesday. We're getting closer and closer to AEW being here. We're getting closer and closer to this big weekend. I'll tell you a quick story. Is that when I had my first tryout and my first action inside a WWE ring, I literally thought that I had been doing it wrong the whole time. I was
really?
like, how? And at this point, I was still very green and had only been wrestling, a couple of years, but that was because I was so young. But I thought, man, I've been doing this all wrong. These guys were beating the hell out of me. I mean, everything from the lockup was super tight. I mean, when they slammed you with extra velocity. And when they hit you, oh, my God, those old punch stomps that we used to do as kids, like that wasn't what we were doing. So I had trained in the wrestling business and then had matches and everything. And by the time I got an opportunity on the WWE level, they are so rugged that I was shocked. I actually had second thoughts like, is this what I want to do? I thought this was a little bit lighter. So it is very, very tough inside the ring. I mean, they are really beating the hell out of each other. I mean, they're not going 100%, but if I were to give you a chop and say, hey, here's how we do it in the ring, you go, okay, that's it. No more.
No kidding.
I am done. So the velocity in which Ray Phoenix, especially him and Pentagon, and I've gone on record saying that sometimes they are dangerous, especially the pile drivers, but Ray Phoenix absolutely planted Moxley. And you could tell the ref stopped his count without the kick out.
I had not noticed that until you said it too. But the ref is confused as well. They think he's going to give him a third hit, and he doesn't do it.
Now, I was hired in WWE, and they had me doing refereeing duties. And so I learned pretty quickly that they want you to shoot count. If he doesn't kick out, then you've got to count. But here's the problem. You are literally in a split-second moment on worldwide television, and you think Jon Moxley, one of the biggest superstars in wrestling, is going to kick out. So that referee has to make a decision. Did he counts it out or he stops his count? You never stop your count. And so when the ref stopped the count, it looked like there was a little bit of communication of do it again. And so then, of course, Ray picks up Moxley and plants him again on his head, which is a very, very dangerous bump, especially considering that Mox didn't kick out of the first one because he had scrambled eggs up there. and then pinned him finally 1-2-3. So there's a lot of heat on the referee, not only because he stopped the count, but then also because Moxley was injured. He kind of failed to recognize that. And in pro wrestling in the last 5, maybe even a little bit longer years, the health and safety of the wrestlers are absolutely first. WWE has stopped matches because somebody's bleeding just to wipe their face off. You know what I mean? Like, they are having to put health first because for so long it was like, you got to finish the match. You got to finish the match. You got to be a tough guy. So, that whole scenario was crazy. Now Rey Fenix is the international champion, and I don't know that he was supposed to even win it.
Totally unscripted. He's retained it once at this point. And one more follow-up with that, too. I got so much to talk to you about today. Your Memphis Wrestling show last week was unbelievable. I got to talk to you about that. WWE's making waves. AEW's making more waves. But one more follow-up with that, too, is that seems like a really controversial point when it comes to AEW. When they first started, I remember Cody Rhodes, they wanted to get chairs back involved more, and he got a really bad gash to the back of the head on, like, their first show. And then this past weekend on Wrestle Dream, it was all scripted, thank God nothing happened, but Christian Cage throwing Darby Allin against the steel steps and then taking the what do you call it, the mat off, and it's just the boards that they're throwing on in the ring. That is scary stuff, and especially when they're pretending like, oh, these are the ambulance guys coming out here to take them off. You really don't know if it's real or fake, and that seems to be a very controversial point about AEW, is it not?
Well, Darby Allin is a maniac. That's it. I can promise you nobody knew that was going to happen except for Christian and Darby. It's not like they went and said, hey, Tony, we're going to do this thing where I get thrown on the steps. I promise you that's 1,000,000% Darby saying, hey, I've never seen this done before. Like, for some reason, he likes to jump off things. He likes to get slammed in weird spots. But that's just Darby. It's almost Jeff Hardy-like, but probably even to another level. I've never seen anybody get slammed on the edge of the steps. And Christian just did it like it was, just so disrespectful and unsafe. So, yeah, that's a Darby Allin thing right there. And AEW's using a lot of blood. They have a lot of blood.
Oh,
you won't see blood in WWE. That's just something that they can't do with marketing and advertising and Snickers and, just all the kid-friendly stuff that they do. They don't want to have that. So AEW is like the alternative where you can go watch blood and guts almost every single episode.
Oh, it's noticeable. It's noticeably more gory when you watch an AEW show. One more thing about AEW before I get on to WWE here and then talk to you about Memphis Wrestling as well, is this weekend was Wrestle Dream. We just talked about that fight between Christian Cage and Darby Allin, and huge exciting news, a new signing at the end of that show. Edge signing as Adam Copeland, announced at the end of that main event. By all accounts, just a great guy, the rated R superstar. Is this the biggest signing that AEW has had at this point? Is this bigger than signing CM Punk?
I think it's got to be. Well, I don't know, that CM Punk was like a monumental moment there, like when it first happened. But Edge, bona fide Hall of Famer, still able to get in the ring and compete. He's going to be there full time. It's like the NFL. Tom Brady switched to a different team. Brett Favre, I think the Packers were kind of, ready to almost move on, so he moved on. Dan Marino, my favorite quarterback of all time, he was thinking about going to the Minnesota Vikings, and I was like, thank goodness he didn't do it. It's very much like an NFL quarterback, man. These guys have spent their whole lives with Vince. And I'm thinking of it from a promoter standpoint, like, gosh, what is Vince thinking? He literally, and Edge worked for it, don't get me wrong, but like after that long to be in partnership with WWE and then just decide, hey, I'm going to go over here with my friend Jay, which is Christian, and I'm going to keep working. It's almost like they're going to get that one last contract, that one last run. And you can tell that WWE is, I don't know that they're not concerned. Don't get me wrong. They're so much bigger at this point. But when they announced Edge is going to have his first match on a Tuesday Dynamite coming up in a couple of weeks, NXT is absolutely loaded. Cody Rhodes is going to be on there. Becky Lynch. They're just literally loading this show up just to block the audience from wanting to tune in to the Tuesday Dynamite. But it's a huge signing. I love Edge. Edge one time gave me some just really valuable advice and told me point blank, WWE will get you. And then a couple of months later, they did sign me. So I've got a little bit of sentimental value with Edge. throughout my career, but really, really good stuff. Edge and Christian are going to be awesome. If if AEW lets them tell a story week after week, like literally stretch a story out that's entertaining, then this could be really, really good stuff and some of Edge and Christian's best work.
Well, I love that idea too. Them going up against the Hardys, maybe a great match, maybe a ladder match, go out in a blaze of glory. But I love what you said about Edge too. Everything I've heard about the guy is that he's just genuinely a really nice person, and that could be what sets it apart from CM Punk. Is it not that CM Punk is not a nice guy, but he just doesn't come with the baggage that CM Punk did. But speaking of CM Punk, Seth Rollins the past 2 weeks on Raw has been making these nods and winks about CM Punk maybe coming on, all the way to just straight up digs. He called him a locker room cancer that should stay away from WWE. Yep. He said, I left it all in the ring on Monday. Maybe a nod to CM Punk too. They wouldn't put that on TV if it was simply just more performative, would they? So do you think Punk is coming back to WWE for maybe, I don't know what it would be. It had to be a pay-per-view event, right?
Man, Survivor Series in November is in Chicago, and that is where CM Punk, he lives, his hometown. We've seen it all in, all out, everywhere. Like anytime they go, AEW went to Chicago, they sell it out. I think WWE would even without Punk, but you're right. They would not, especially Vince. And he still has that control, right? So Vince would never acknowledge. He would never put anybody or anything over without there being something linked to that, right? So I would think that by 2 weeks in a row, Seth Rollins saying something about it, I think CM Punk is going to go back to WWE. And I don't think any of the stuff at AEW is even going to matter because none of that stuff ever happened at WWE. I think there's just an understanding. So whether it's long-term, short-term, one-time appearance or something, it does look like CM Punk is going to WWE.
Well, that's a huge payday, too. But let me ask you this as well. What does that mean for Seth Rollins, though? I mean, you got Cody Rhodes, seemingly The Rock coming back for a big show. That would probably be WrestleMania. You still have Roman Reigns in the mix there. Throw in John Cena if you want to. Someone has to be the odd man out at some point, right? They can't have all these matches.
I just don't see they can have all the matches. They just have to figure out how to do them and headline a pay-per-view with each one and sell it. So, but here's the thing that I'm looking at is like, all right, if you have CM Punk come back and he wrestles Seth Rollins, I mean, surely you don't have the quote unquote outsider CM Punk who was with the other company come in and take the title from Seth freaking Rollins in his first night. But then also on the flip side, does Rollins beat CM Punk? Does that kill that business that they were trying to do if he beats him that first night? So it'll be interesting to see how it works. But you might not get a Seth Rollins versus CM Punk match at Survivor Series. Maybe that's just a re-debut of CM Punk that helps tell the story, and then they move it forward because you do have Royal Rumble coming up in January. That's a big one. And then, of course, I believe, that's the road to WrestleMania. And then you've got 1 or 2 pay-per-views in between there. So you've got time building up to WrestleMania. So that way, if The Rock wrestles Roman Reigns at Mania, so where does that leave Cody? What story does Cody have to finish there? So there's a whole lot that can happen between now and January. And in January, we really see what's going to happen kind of towards WrestleMania.
Well, it's heating up here. They have a pay-per-view this weekend, Fastlane on Saturday. That looks like it's going to be exciting. John Cena in that one, Seth Rollins fighting there, LWO fighting there. Cody Rhodes is going, so it'll be cool. Man, I had so much I want to ask you. I got to get to Memphis Wrestling. I want to talk about Drew McIntyre last night. I'm in love with Dominic Mysterio now. I just love this guy. I don't know what. I just love this guy for some reason. Yeah. And then I want to talk to you about Bryan Danielson and all this other stuff happening at Wrestle Dream, but I got to get to Memphis Wrestling, your show from last week. Block the Hate. A little nod to who you had on there. But before we get to that one, your opening match, you teased this with us last week. It was unbelievable. The five-star five-way tag team match. I mean, I was hooked from the beginning. First of all, I was hooked when Barnabas, the producer, walked out before. I love that guy. I mean, he's got the inflatable boombox. It's a great look. I love the whole thing. And we were talking about chops earlier, talking about throwing chops. At the beginning of that match, when everyone just starts in an all-out melee, the chops that were being thrown were unbelievable. It was awesome. Big Swole had a double suplex at one point. 3 straight over-the-top falling out to the side of the ring was unbelievable.
The waterfall.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
That's what they call it in wrestling. They call it the waterfall. You got so many dives going out. And that's exactly what I wanted in that match, man. When I saw the first one with the singles, competitors, 5-star 5-way, I thought, oh my God, how crazy would it be if we had 10 guys in the ring doing this? So that's kind of where it came from. And they did not disappoint it, man. They did a fantastic job. DK and Ray came out on the other end with the tag team titles. So Fred Rosser was really good on that program. His promo was one of my favorites. He said, you're going to leave here with 3 boots, 2 on your feet and 1 in your beep. That was so great.
I wrote that entire thing down to say to you because I was crying. I was crying laughing when I heard him say that. It was a great line.
My reaction at the desk is literally legit. Like, I had no idea. It's not like we say, hey, I'm going to say this and you say that. Like, Fred Rosser's a superstar. He can say whatever he wants. And I just reacted, but that was true reaction. Like, oh my God, that was so funny.
Well, your main event was, so it was Fred Rosser against Delicious Van Vicious. Great name, by the way. Awesome name. Yeah. And talk about big chops in that one too, from start to finish as well. 2 back-to-back hip tosses from Rosser. And then he had the suplex on the apron, which was unbelievable. That was truly a great match. You guys are doing awesome stuff there. And then the cross-face chicken wing makes him tap. Tell me about how that was experienced like having Fred Rosser there.
Oh, man. So I worked with Fred in the developmental system back in 2010. So we kind of got to know each other then. I'm also good friends with Titus O'Neil, who I always say this, he's a Florida Gator football Hall of Famer. He was training there, and him and Fred became friends. And Vince McMahon saw that backstage, that they were just friends, and they were goofing with each other, made them a tag team as the primetime players. So I was friends with Fred, but then became better friends with Fred through Titus. And so then when it came up with our training session, I actually had Mackenzie Morgan and Tim Bosby say, hey, can we get Fred Rosser for a seminar? Because he trains at the New Japan Pro Wrestling Dojo. He's a head trainer there. So I said, absolutely. So it just sped up the process of having Fred here, but he's been on the list for a while. And so he came in on the Saturday and did a pro wrestling seminar with our trainees. And then on Sunday showed up. He literally sat backstage and watched every single match and provided positive feedback and positive reinforcement to the wrestlers when they came back. And that's rare. Like, a lot of times, because we have a really small locker room and there's a lot of people. So sometimes they'll hang out in the back or wherever. It's hard to watch. But Fred watched every single match sitting back there. So nothing but good things to say about Fred.
Well, what a great guy too. And
Jay,
go ahead.
I was doing the interview next to him, and I'm holding the microphone and I'm looking at him, and this dude had veins coming out of his chest and shoulders. He is in such phenomenal shape, like better shape than even his WWE days. But I just couldn't help to notice he had these bulging veins coming out of his chest, man.
Oh, he was a behemoth of a man, and he was a great guy too, giving high fives to the crowd when you went to break there during the match as well. I mean, he just seemed like a really genuine, nice guy, and he had the line of the night too. You already mentioned it. That was one of the funniest lines I've ever heard. I loved every minute of it. You've got some other great stuff coming up too here. First of all,
but I have one quick thing.
Go ahead.
So sorry. I know I'm running out of time.
No, John, it's your show. You have to do it.
Dustin Starr, first and foremost, and you mentioned some dude who had veins coming out of his chest and was all in great shape. Well, if you're watching on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or at sportsmemphis.com, you will see yoked Jay Morgan in his hairy chest with a luchador hat on, because he has no shirt on and a luchador mask.
Well, I thought it was necessary today to take the shirt. I've been doing the luchador mask a couple weeks. I needed to take it to another level. I took the shirt off today. That's how fired up I was, Dustin. I was fired up to talk to you.
Right now.
It
I'm
was
going on Twitter right now.
Yeah, it was great stuff. Well, I got to tell you, so you had Prince Nana had a big week. He's coming up at the end of the month. He danced at Wrestle Dream after Swerve Strickland got a pin and a win in that one. But this Sunday you've got a big show coming up, the Halloween Spooktacular. You've got a lot of exciting stuff coming up for that show. What can you tell us about it?
Oh my gosh, I could tell you that the tickets are almost sold out, and I'm telling you that I'm showing Maria that Jay Moore is in studio right now with his shirt off and his Lucha Libre mask on. Oh, my gosh. I love it. This Sunday, though, tickets, I think ringside seats are already gone. You can use the code Halloween at checkout and save $5 so you can get those general admission tickets. The cool thing here is usually we have 1 or 2 feature attractions. This time for Halloween, we've got the Vampire Warrior Gangrel. We've got former WWE superstar Kevin Thorne, Impact Wrestling's Crazy Steve, and the Monster Cruel. They'll all be there. There's a special VIP lanyard that you'll get with your ticket where you can get that autograph. So the meet and greet's from 12:30 to 1:30. Bell time is 1:45, and it's shaping up to be the biggest show that we've had so far this year. And also, I want to break some news for you because I just got it confirmed today. That October 29th, not only is Prince Nana coming, but Brandon Cutler is coming as well.
Wow!
So it is loaded up coming on the 29th. So that has not even been marketed out there just yet. I just received an email from Brandon. He can't wait to come. And, Brandon Cutler, the dude that hangs out with the Young Bucks. So there's no telling what he's going to have in store. And hopefully he'll bring the YouTube show, Being the Elite, with him. Maybe Memphis Wrestling can be on that.
Hangman Adam Page in there, too. But no, great stuff.
Yeah.
Seriously, Dustin, I love the shows you guys are doing. You and Maria did an excellent job. I cannot compliment you enough on how much fun it is to watch, and best of luck to your continued success. Thanks for joining us today.
All right, man. I will talk to you next week, and if you have a chance, swing by on Sunday and check us out live at the Wrestle Center.
Everybody should do that. It'll be great. Thanks, Dustin.
Man,
Thank
that
you.
is Dustin Starr. I guess I'll come back for 2 seconds and just say, Jay, this would be a perfect time to get you down to 5880 Goodman Road down in Olive Branch. You can get some new gear. They have a beautiful men's department. They got some great shirts and some sweaters and some T-shirts and some great jeans. Plus, they got the largest boot showroom around, so you can get some cowboy boots. If you're going to be out there with a luchador mask and no shirt on, don't you need some cowboy boots? Maybe some Western boots?
It goes great with my look.
Yeah, they also have a whole thing of just normal shoes. They have Hey Dude. They have everything. And don't think they just have it for the men. They got a ladies' boutique, a children's department. They got you covered from head to toe. 5880 Goodman Road down in Olive Branch, or you can shop online at frontierwesternstore.com. It's easy to navigate. They ship your order out within 24 hours, and any order of $75 or more is shipped absolutely free. Frontier Western Store and frontierwesternstore.com. Baker Mayfield's hanging out in dive bars. We got to talk a little bit of NFL football with Jay Morgan. We got day baseball. Don't touch the dial. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know. Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit binswingerglass.com. Binswanger Glass. We interrupt this broadcast for special news and information concerning family leisure.
The world's biggest spa sale is back and bigger than ever at Family Leisure. How is that possible? Well, let me tell you. You start off with 50 different spa models to choose from 5 different manufacturers. Then you throw in up to 30% off in-stock spas and swim spas. But is that all? Oh, no. You get free upgrades on all in-stock spas, plus 24 months, same as cash. Wow! This is the kind of sale that you just can't have every day, but it's happening right now at Family Leisure, the world's biggest spa sale. Soak in the savings right now at Family Leisure, Witten Road and I-40. You know the place where family and fun come together.
Please remain calm and walk. Don't run to Family Leisure. And now back to your regular programming.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything! A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
for the latest from the world of golf. Tune in every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelge and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on Sports 56. Real sports talk.
The 4-1 Memphis football team is home Friday, October 13th at 6 o'clock for a huge conference matchup against Tulane for first place in the conference. It's wrestling night. Enjoy the matches on Tiger Lane and meet and greet with the wrestlers inside the stadium. Tickets start at just $20 to watch this big-time conference matchup. Be at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium Friday, October 13th at 6 o'clock. Purchase your tickets today at GoTigersGoTix.com.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. This hour is brought to you by Scooters Plus on Summer Avenue. Here once again is Johnny Radio.
Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes rabbit. He choke. He's so mad, but he won't give up. Daddies, he know he won't have it. He knows his whole back to these ropes. It don't matter. He's dope. He knows that, but he's broke. He's so stagnant.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Got Jay Morgan hanging out with me. It is a hump day, baby. And guess what? We got a little bit of football action tonight. A little football. We got baseball, though, starting at 2 o'clock. We had a pretty good day, you could say, yesterday. Wouldn't you, Jay?
Yeah, no, I had a good day. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a really, really good day. So if you were listening yesterday and you took our advice, you're probably a happy person.
Hopefully we can follow it up.
I have a feeling that we're going to. I got to say, though, and I wanted to bring this up because we've been talking lots of bets, and we'll definitely give everything locked in, loaded, 145, 150 today. You know, between then, we are putting everything that we're playing out. But, Jay, I keep looking at that Twins game, and, man, I just love me some Sonny DeGray today against Jose Barrios. And I feel like he's just going to get his former team. I remember Barrios spent, 6 seasons with the Twins? He was there for a while. Man, I think his old team's going to bust him up today. And Sonny's nasty.
I don't have a play like that on this game. The only play I'm playing is Barrios strikeout.
Over 5.5?
Over 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only play on this game. But you're far more. You generally are far more willing to bet outcomes than I am. I'm not much of an outcome bettor.
I feel you there because that's
for
the truth.
baseball. That is.
By the way, you know the football action we got. We got New Mexico State, Florida International, Jacksonville State, Middle Tennessee. Not very, very exciting, but you can't complain because at least we have some football tonight. 7 o'clock on ESPNU, Jacksonville State versus Middle Tennessee, and then 8 o'clock. You have Florida International and New Mexico State. So, Bucks GM Jason Licht or what's his name?
Licht, right?
I can't remember. Something like that.
Licht.
Jason Licht.
Sure. Whatever.
Jason Licht.
Both are acceptable.
It just sounds, if it's Jason Licht, that just sounds wrong.
I'm gonna give you that both are acceptable pronunciations.
But if it's I don't know if I like Jason Licht.
You don't know if you liked Jason Licht?
No, I don't know if I liked Jason Licht. But anyway, the point is, he just went out there and started heaping praise on his quarterback. Did you know why?
Baker, that is.
Yeah, he says he loves his personality. He says, I don't know where this started. He's just, that he wasn't a good guy. He's like, this. You can point to a lot of things, man. And, a lot of people maybe got a wrong impression of him. But he's freaking an awesome dude. And then he said he's such an awesome dude. He's like, Baker is such a dude's dude. And he's like, players, by the way, see that right away. The whole offensive line's taken to him, blah, blah, blah. Bahamas trips, he goes on and on and on, talks about the receivers, da-da-da-da. And then he also gets to the point that the city really loves him. And do you want to know why the city really loves Baker Mayfield?
Why is that?
Because Baker Mayfield is a dude's dude. He ain't going to no 5-star Ritz-Carlton, bougie place down in Tampa. No, he's going to dive bars and hanging out with the real people, the everyday man.
Like Urban Meyer. So I guess you take the good with the bad sometimes.
Hey, dude, he's 28 and he's not married. You know what I'm saying? Or actually, I think Baker is married. According to those progressive commercials, he was married when he was living in the Brown Stadium. Remember, they would show his wife. By the way, Tampa, lot of Shake Junts in Tampa. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. He is married, Johnson. Been married since 2019.
So it's not just for Progressive commercials?
Nope.
All right. Well, Baker Mayfield, he's a dude's dude, and everybody loves him, and he hangs out in dive bars in Tampa. Like, isn't that what you want your quarterback doing?
Yes.
I like it. I kind of like it. By the way, Baker, he needs a good offensive line. He needs protection. I bet a bunch of those offensive linemen like going to dive bars, drinking some cold beers, and eating some burgers. But, man, you're going to need some protection. Baker needs it on the field. He don't need it in dive bar because he's with his peeps. But you're going to need the best whether you're on the road or at your house, and you're going to need Bob Simpson of State Farm. He can buckle you up with auto insurance. He can back your life up with health insurance. He can cover your business, whether it's starting, growing, or maturing. And don't forget to insure your home no matter if you're an owner or a renter. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call my buddy Bob Simpson today, 901-381-1233, or go online and get a free quote at bobsimpson.org. Stay protected with your good neighbor. That would be State Farm's Bob Simpson. On the other side, Jay, are you ready to break down the last segment of National Football League news we can do?
Sure, and then give lots of bets because I got a lot of those.
Tons of bets. Lots of bets. That's all next. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Sunrise on Jefferson and Sunrise East on Poplar may both be named Sunrise because they serve a fantastic breakfast. But sometimes you can't get to Sunrise for breakfast, and that's why it's important to remember that they both serve amazing lunches until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You can get a perfect bacon cheeseburger, or the Dirty Bird sandwich with crispy fried chicken and buffalo sauce, or the fried green tomato BLT at either Sunrise location every day for lunch. When you think of Sunrise, you may think of breakfast, but when you think of lunch, throw in some Sunrise.
Country music singer-songwriter Kylie Morgan absolutely loves her Genesis diamond ring.
I got so many compliments as soon as I got the ring and continue to get compliments on it because it looks really pretty on my finger.
Kylie's husband Jay heard folks in the music industry raving about Genesis, but he also did a lot of homework on his own.
When it came to finding the ring, he took it very seriously. He did all the research. I think he knows more about diamonds than any man in the entire world, and that's how he landed on Genesis. He just knew that they were the best.
Jay picked out a stunning, flawless, pear-shaped diamond in an elegant setting. Got the value price Genesis is known for. And now they both tell everyone they meet about the amazing Genesis experience.
When you walk into Genesis, you can just feel the happiness. You know that they're helping find something that symbolizes the love that you have for your partner, and you can feel that as soon as you walk through the door.
Always been you, and I've always been your wife.
Genesis Diamonds at Poplar and Perkins Extended.
36,000, the number of businesses which have upgraded to the #1 cloud financial system, NetSuite by Oracle. 25. NetSuite just turned 25. That's 25 years of helping businesses streamline their finances and reduce costs. Because your unique business deserves a customized solution. That's NetSuite. Learn more when you download NetSuite's popular Key Performance Indicators checklist absolutely free at netsuite.com/herd, netsuite.com/herd.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 120 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats to watch the playoff games and to watch all the basketball. It's so easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Jay Morgan Harder's hanging out with me. It is Wednesday, and we got baseball all day long, all day strong, starting at 2 o'clock. You got the Rays and the Rangers. The Rays right now, sadly, I did not realize this. Did you know they had the lowest attended playoff game since 1919?
That's sad. But it's also at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
I mean, isn't everybody retired down in Tampa anyway?
Yeah, but it's hard to get to the stadium as well.
I mean, what are you talking about? The go get around can't get around in the middle of the afternoon because it needs some charging? Pull out your solar panels or something.
No, I don't think it has anything to do with electric power, John. I think it has more to do with that it's a two-lane road, a two-lane bridge over water to get there.
It's a great point, actually.
So it's not like there's other roads. You have to go over water, and unless you have a boat and then another car on the other side, it's probably hard to get over there.
Man, another good point. Another good point by the. Well, Nathan Eovaldi's pitching. Zach Eflin's pitching for Nathan Eovaldi, by the way, for Texas, and he has been terrible as of late, especially. And the Rays, Zach Eflin has been surprisingly really damn good this year.
9.30 ERA in September, Nathan Eovaldi had.
Man, that just sounds devastating. And what did I say yesterday? The Rangers were not going to be able to do it. They just don't have anything left. I mean, Max Scherzer's banged up. I mean, it's just you feel bad for this team, the bullpen you don't trust and all these things, and then they go out there and the Rangers do what they do, and they just hit the hell out the baseball. They took care of business, and the Rays couldn't defend. I think things get back to being normal today. I really like Eflin against the Rangers. I mean, Eovaldi I don't trust. Eflin I do. And remember, we talked about it yesterday. Rays, they got some dudes. They got some dudes. Like Randy Rosarena is known to, have a little postseason magic.
So I've got a couple plays for you here, John. We've already talked about Eflin over 5.5 Ks plus 125. We talked about that earlier. I've got two more plays here for you.
All right, Eflin over 5.5 plus two more.
We don't like Eovaldi today at all. 9.30 ERA in September. The Rays' first 5-inning team total over 2.5 is plus 125. That is really good value, especially for how bad Nathan Eovaldi has been in the month of September. Even if they take him out of there, I think the Rays will score some runs in this one. My second play for this one, I like Zach Eflin a lot. I'm not talking about Zach Eflin, but I'm just looking at the statistics here. And as I look through game logs of his last 5 games, so I'll go with Eovaldi first just to show how bad he's been. Last 5 games, first 5 innings of the game, he's given up 7 runs, 5 runs, 3 runs, 2 runs, and 4 runs. Eflin's been better, but not by much. 3 runs, 2 runs. He had none against Baltimore, which is really good. 3 and then 3, though. If I combine those numbers, there's a lot of numbers that are 5 or more there. So because of that, I know it's the playoffs, and I know we don't like overs in the playoffs, but in the first 5 innings, I'm taking a shot at over 4.5 runs plus 114. John, the Rays might get there by themselves, too. So
I like that, actually. I was thinking to myself, out of all the overs, this is the one that I could see. I mean, number one, I talked about Eflin, living on the corners. The highest, 46.2% of his pitches are on the edge. He's not catching a lot of the plate. He's not going Spencer Strider, who's throwing that many right down the damn middle. See it, hit it. They do it every once in a while. But, the Rangers in the last month haven't been great at this, but throughout the entire season, the least swing and miss contact from any baseball team in baseball. So you might be living on the edges, but that's one thing the Rangers do is they fight off pitches.
So which kind of scares me in terms of strikeouts, but that's all right. Those 3 plays, I feel like they complement each other fairly well. Although there is a scenario more so than I would like that all 3 of those.
It also makes me like the over because I think the Rangers, while Eflin's going to be good, they're going to score a little bit. But I think the Rays beat up on Eovaldi.
You know, it could complement it.
And by the way, the Rangers ain't like they got some great bullpen that's coming in after Eovaldi.
Exactly. So if Eovaldi goes out early, I even like it that much better, quite frankly. So those are the plays after that gum. I wrote a Yurfee down. I could only find it even money on one sports book.
2 games yesterday was Yurfee's? 2?
Yeah, that's right.
2 out of the 4.
Or 3 out of the 4, right?
Is it? No.
Because the Twins, the Brewers, no, the Phillies and Marlins didn't score the first. They didn't score till the third. Yeah, 2 of the 4, John. I kind of liked a Yurfee in this one. I did not play it, though. I could only find it even money on one sports book, and I already had a first 5 over and the Rays team total first 5 over. I thought I'm all in on scoring runs. I don't need a Yurfee there, too. But if you don't like those plays I had and you can still find the Yurfee even money, might not be a bad play here today.
What do you think about the Twins and the Blue Jays? Do you think I'm crazy because that's my – like that? I just feel like that's the game. They haven't won in the postseason. They got that off their back. This team, I mean, again, the way yesterday I'm sitting here looking at, Lewis. Royce Lewis, the kid, like I said, who he's come to party and lay claim for who he is. The number 1 overall pick in 2017. Had the COVID year wipe out everything because he couldn't get to the country. Had 2 ACL tears. And all of a sudden, he's been healthy this year and he's tearing it up. Also, you got to look at my man Carlos Correa, who's been dealing with plantar fasciitis. He looked better yesterday than he has all season long. Like, he looks like he's kind of finally gotten healthy. I think these are big. And plus, Byron Buxton hadn't ran into a wall, hasn't hurt his hamstring so far, so he's still healthy. I'm comfortable. And if you think Pablo Lopez can shut down the Blue Jays, Sonny Gray can just as well.
I agree, John. The reason I didn't take them is because you get some tough prices. You have to get pretty creative with how you take them unless you're going to pay a little bit of a tax to take the Twins today.
$40 tax.
Yeah, a little bit of a tax. You could take them -1.5, but this is the playoffs. I don't know if you want to do that necessarily. And there's just so much could happen in this game. But I really think the Twins win today, and I really had to stretch for a play on this game because I'm really looking at the first 5 innings mostly. And so I landed on Jose Berrios over 5.5 strikeouts. He strikes out a lot of guys. Like I said, every outing he had in September, the over 5.5 would have hit.
He doesn't give. The other thing, if you look at it, Berrios, he might have 6 strikeouts, but he'll probably have 4 walks to go well because he never gives in, and that's why he also gives a lot of strikeouts, but also why he gives up a lot of walks.
True, too, but he also kind of avoids the big inning in some ways, too, which has been, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of big innings in there. He does have his last 2 outings against the Yankees. He gave up 4 runs. Those didn't come in a big inning, though. And then he had 2, or at least the big inning, I should say, didn't come in the first 5 innings because one against Washington and one against Baltimore in August. He had a big inning in the 6th inning. But we're fine if that happens in the 6th or 7th inning because we're out of play at that point in terms of first 5 inning stuff. But I like the over 5.5 strikeouts today for Berrios for sure.
Do you feel comfortable with the fact that, the Brewers, 12 hits yesterday, only scored 3 runs. The Diamondbacks played great. The Brewers jumped out to that 3-0 lead. You had a great game from Contreras from behind the dish. He looks like he's engaged. I don't see the Diamondbacks running all over the place. Longoria had a magical day at third base. Do the Brewers get game number 2 and force this bad boy with Peralta coming up today?
I think I love the Brewers today. I love the Brewers first 5 minus half a run plus 115. So I love the Brewers today. I think there's a lot of value on this game. I also, furthermore, because I like Freddie Peralta, D-backs first 5 team total under 1.5 is even money. I love that today. Freddie Peralta can shut guys down. I just got a feeling today that he's going to do that against the Diamondbacks and it's going to be over. I think you get a lot of value on this game because people see the name Zach Gallen and they immediately want to bet on him pitching. But
he's been terrible.
The statistics just don't back that up. He had a 4.17 ERA in September, and that includes a complete game shutout and a 6-inning shutout against the Yankees. So the fact that he has a 4.17, the fact that he has a 9-inning shutout should not make you feel good. It should make you feel worse because you see 4.17 in that month next to it, which means he's pitching really bad except for one game against the Cubs that were totally decimated and completely out of it at that point. So I think Zach Gallen over 5 hits and allowed. You said you think they're going to leave him out there.
Well,
that makes me like it even more.
Because they already won game 1. They definitely are going to force that game 3. And guess what? Merrill Kelly is going to be pitching in game 3. Do you not trust Merrill Kelly more than you trust Zach Gallen right now? And don't you want your bullpen to be at full strength when Merrill Kelly comes out and you try to win that bad? I don't know. I just feel like that is the of course you want to go out and try to win today's game. I'm not saying that you're not going to try.
But when you have
a
game to work with, these are the things you have to think about.
You got to think to yourself, Gallen has been if he gets in some trouble and he gets down, gives up a few runs early, you leave him out here and you get at least 7 innings out of him to save your bullpen for that decisive game 3.
I think I could see that happening for sure. I absolutely there's 2 schools of thought. Either you go all out to win the second one and be done.
Well, they don't have a lot of arms. They look good. The Diamondbacks bullpen looked great yesterday. That's what you want in game number 3 if you can't get it. And again, I just don't see them getting today's game. I feel like the Brewers, I think they have the big pitching advantage with Freddie Peralta.
I agree. So I like the Brewers first 5 minus half a run, so you give up the tie there for plus 115. I don't think the D-backs score 1.5 runs in the first 5 innings, so I'm going under 1.5 at even money. I said Zach Gallen hits allowed over 5.5. That's plus 115. And the last one is Freddie Peralta over 5.5 strikeouts is plus 105. He has over 5.5 strikeouts in 8 of his last 10 outings. So for plus 105, I really like the percentages there. Those are 4+ money bets, John. We just have to hit 2 of them in order to make money on this game.
Dig that, making money, man. Also, last game of the day, you got the Phillies and the Marlins. This is a value play. Nola's been absolutely terrible. He is definitely not Zach Wheeler. Yes, I don't think the Phillies beat themselves necessarily. By the way, Nick Castellanos, do you not like this? Does this Phillies team this is a team that made the World Series last year, okay? Mm-hmm. Do you not like this team a lot better than last year's team?
I did before I looked at more statistics today. To be honest, you know how high I've been on the Phillies the past few weeks.
I'm sorry, Trey Turner.
What if I told you this, John?
Nick Castellanos, what they bring to this lineup.
What if I told you the Phillies had the 6th worst average in the last 30 days in baseball?
That would be surprising, especially since the record's been good.
Exactly. And I saw that today, and it sent a little shock through my system. And then I looked at Aaron Nola's game logs.
But JT, man, he's hitting. You saw him swinging a big stick yesterday, just perfect, man. And I felt like, man, now it's the postseason. Maybe they were just chilling last month, getting their bodies right for that October push.
Well, this is another team that has a game in hand here.
I mean, Schwartz strikes out a lot, but he's still going to, pop you a couple.
This is a team that has a game in hand here, too, with the win yesterday. Obviously, the Marlins are decimated, so you have to – and it's like the pitching staff mostly. So you have to think that they can come back and win tomorrow, even if the Marlins do win today's game. But the Marlins' bats have been really good. So here's what I've got first. Starting with Braxton Garrett, who's on the mound for the Marlins. How about this? The Phillies walked the 6th most in baseball in the last 30 days. I'm taking Braxton Garrett over 1.5 walks at plus 115. He hovers around there. There's not necessarily, it's kind of a 50-50 split in terms of if he's walking more than that or less, but I'm taking a shot today. That would have hit in 3 of his 4 starts in September, it would, for Braxton Garrett. So I'm going to go ahead and take a shot here. I'm getting plus 115, and the Phillies walk a lot, over 1.5 walks. And then after that, this is where it's going to get scary, John. So that's one that's totally independent of who wins the game, who's winning after 5 innings. Here's one I like better. This one's also independent. Aaron Nola's been really bad the last month. He's been really bad. I like the Marlins' first 5 team total over 1.5 runs at minus 110. That doesn't matter who wins it. They can easily score 2 runs, and the Phillies have scored more and lose the game. But I'm going to take the Marlins on the money line in the first 5, too, because it's plus 135. Are you kidding me? I'm looking at these stats today, and that value for that play is way too damn good to not bet it. I mean, I understand that, John, you and I have been talking for a month now. We're really high on the Phillies and really down on the injured Marlins. But for plus 135, I'm sorry, the stats do not back up that should be the price. I took the Marlins' first 5 money line in that as well. So I doubled down a little bit.
I like it.
Me too.
I love it.
Went on a rampage there. I tell you what, I heard Skip Schumacher in an interview yesterday as well, and thank God I didn't hear that before those games yesterday because I would have blindly bet the Marlins. But that's not what I did today. I have stats to back it up, but man, Skip Schumacher, that's a baseball coach, man. He needs to coach the Cardinals. The fact that guy played in that organization for that long and he's not the manager right now because of Ollie Marmol is a joke, man. This guy is a professional manager. His team has bought into what he's doing. It's unbelievable what they're doing. Jorge Soler turned into a locker room leader. Jorge Soler. This guy was in 116 in Kansas City because he was so miserable playing for that team. And now he's in Miami, which, historically isn't that much better. No one's coming to these games either. And now this guy's a locker room leader, speaks to coaching to me, and there's a good leader as the coach of that team.
You know why he's so unhappy in Kansas City? Because he heard that they had the best barbecue. Because, Kansas City's one of those, they're just full of it. They boast with that BS. When we know the best barbecue in the world's where?
It's in Memphis, Tennessee, John.
Damn right it is. And it's in one specific place. Actually, it's in 5 specific places. But they're all called Central Barbecue, where smoke is their sauce. They got you downtown. They got you on Central, Summer, Poplar, and now down in South Haven. Central Barbecue has everything that you need for your little taste buds when you need a little cue. They got the barbecue beans, the turnip greens, the mac and cheese. Plus, they got them barbecue nachos. I went and got barbecue nachos on Monday. Man, right after I left here, I was just craving some barbecue nachos. I like to get a lot of jalapenos on that bad boy. I got a couple wings. I got some dry spice. I didn't get the sweet heat just because I actually had to go see some people. And sometimes I get it all over my hands, and when I get it all over my hands, somehow it gets all over my pants. For some reason, I forget the damn napkin. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why, but I do.
Don't we all?
We just do. But man, also the pulled chicken. I got a pound of pulled chicken. Took it home, and I was like, "Yo, Chas, whip me up a little din." With this beautiful smoked chicken. You know what she did? She turned it into enchiladas that night. Yeah, you can buy the meat in bulk. You can get a big old rack of ribs. You can get their shoulder. Central Barbecue Smoke is their sauce. Check them out. Now, Jay.
Hey, John.
We talked about Jorge Soler, who wasn't happy in Kansas City, and now he's great down in Miami.
But you know what team is happy in Kansas City?
Who's going to be sad in Miami?
I thought you were going to transition to football there.
I am going to. A lot of people aren't happy with Deshaun Watson.
Man, I thought that was a perfect opportunity to say, but you know why they're happy in Kansas City now? Because the Chiefs are playing good football.
And because Tay-Tay is
part of I wasn't going to bring that up. I mean, it seems like everyone's kind of sick of that.
We got some serious conspiracy theories going on out there, man.
You mean that they're not dating? Because they're not.
Yeah, they're not.
They're not dating.
Yeah.
That those two people are two professionals.
No babies. No little Travis Kelce and Tay-Tay kids running around.
Although there was a picture taken by paparazzo that they saw him coming out of Taylor's house the first night he stayed over there.
Yeah, I also saw him where he left there before the game in New York, and that's why I thought he only had one catch because he had
That's what it was. That's what it was. Oh, that's a great radio too. Is now he's dating somebody, so now he's distracted, and it's only because it's a famous person he's dating, right? Like if someone has a girlfriend in their personal lives, it's never a distraction unless we know about who they're dating. Then it's a huge distraction.
Yeah. But I'm like if it's just somebody that Baker Mayfield picked up in a dive bar, like we're not going to care.
Well, he's married though, so we would care about that.
Well, he's the one in the dive bars. You know, it ain't my fault. What do you think he's doing in dive bars? Drinking and doing what?
I don't know. What else is he doing?
I don't know. What do you go to the bar to do? Drink?
I don't go to the bar.
I go to the bar to drink eating, by the way.
You know what I go to the bar for, John?
You know what I do? I take Chaz to the bar.
I play Golden
That's
Tee.
What I do.
I go to the bar, and I got my little Golden Tee membership card here, and I take it out, and I go play me some Golden Tee at the bar. That's what I do at the bar. Golden Tee membership card.
Good job.
It's got my name and number on it. Don't steal my number.
Well, don't play Golden Tee, like, in Cleveland. Right now, everybody's mad. Did you hear about what Deshaun Watson did?
Yeah, he set out last week's game.
Do you know why?
Because I can't say the word on the radio.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so proud of you. You're actually right. He is.
Yeah,
For
he is.
real.
Yeah, that's right.
And let me just tell you something. This guy was completely cleared to play, but said, you know what?
I don't want to.
I don't want to. We have a bye week coming up, so I'm just going to take these 2 weeks off. This is a dude who has a fully guaranteed contract.
Literally.
They are in a battle for the AFC North. Baltimore, they were playing the damn Ravens. You know what I'm saying?
This guy just seems like the worst teammate in the world, man.
He is the worst teammate in the world. Man, I'm telling you right now, I think me and Deshaun are scrapping if I'm a Cleveland Brown.
Absolutely.
Like, this is ridiculous. Like, the dude got a $230 million guaranteed contract, was 100% cleared and ready to play.
You want to know?
Says, nah, I'm good.
You want to know the only reason why no one did scrap with him, John? I'm reporting this exclusively. You want to know the only reason why they didn't? Is because they know if they fight with the franchise quarterback, it's not him that's going.
And
that's literally the only reason, because you know that everybody in that locker room wanted to.
I think you're 100% right. Like I'm
what
just.
A joke.
I mean,
this
and
guy's
by the
a
way,
joke, man.
you just let DTR, who's never played an NFL game, you make him go and play against that Ravens team, and you obviously could tell the 23-year-old kid wasn't ready. I mean, would they get a field goal?
And they weren't playing an NFC team a week before a bye. This is a divisional football game. Like, what are you, a moron? Those are the games. There's literally 3 teams you play against where it matters, and that was one of them. Like, this guy's a moron. It just doesn't make any sense to me why, like, you can't weigh all of the games the same. I know that we as fans sometimes just go into the games like, this team's good, this team's bad, but your divisional games truly mean more. That is how you get into the playoffs. And you just set one out because you had a bye week. It's a ridiculous premise. The guy's a moron.
It is sad. And by the way, Herm Edwards was made famous by saying, "You play to win the game."
Not
well,
Deshaun.
Guess what? You're paid to play the damn game, Deshaun. Like, when you're medically cleared and there's nothing wrong with you and you decide, hey, you know what? I'm going to completely get healed up over these next 2 weeks. It's my decision. Like, every person in that locker room wants to slap you. You think that these dudes don't got bumps and bruises after 4 weeks of football?
But furthermore, John, it's a divisional game.
You're right.
Sit out against the Giants.
Damn game.
Sit out against the Giants. Sit out against the
and you're lucky
Seahawks.
Right now, and you're lucky because right now the Steelers are terrible, and you're lucky the Bengals are playing terrible, or you would at 2-2 be in some deep trouble.
But that's the point too, John. Is you can't guarantee just because these other teams in your division that you're going to win them later because they're divisional games. Mike Tomlin has made an entire career of not losing divisional games, and so you're going to sit.
And don't forget, they did lose to the Steelers, didn't they? Didn't they lose to the Steelers on Monday Night Football or something?
Oh, that's right.
And whose fault was that? I would have to say that was Deshaun Watson's terrible play. I mean, that was pathetic.
That's even better reason, John. So you've already lost a divisional game, and you're going to sit out another one. What a joke! This guy's a moron. Like, what are we doing here? I just don't understand. I understand he got all this guaranteed money. Terrible contract, by the way. Should be cut right now. I mean, what a joke. This guy's a terrible leader, a terrible quarterback, not a franchise quarterback type of guy. Someone who was a top 5 quarterback talent at a certain point, and we all thought that's crazy they're releasing him, but then we found out that he was raping women and all this other stuff too, so he deserved to be released. But furthermore, he's just not a good leader, not a good person to have in your locker room. He's a joke.
I cannot agree with you more. I did want to ask you.
We got a Thursday night game tomorrow that we don't get to talk about tomorrow, John. We got to talk about that one.
Yeah, we are in just a second, but it's the Bears Commander. I wanted to remind people there's another 8:30 a.m. NFL game. You know that, right?
It's the Jags again. They had to stay the whole week in England.
Yes, and they're playing the Buffalo Bills. And I'm kind of wondering, with the Bills completely, basically shooting their entire load last week on the Dolphins, they were ready for him to come into town. Now they got to go all the way to London. The Jags have been there eating, what do they eat?
Tea and crumpets.
Tea and crumpets. Some other stuff. Did you know there's a dessert over there? Do you know what it's called? It was
figgy pudding.
Pretty close.
Isn't that right?
Have you ever seen, I think it's John Goodman, and he's like the King of England? And they eat this log, and it's a never mind, doesn't matter. I'm going to get off this subject. They're in London. It's called
King Ralph?
Spotted Dick. It's a dessert in London. Anyway, they eat weird stuff over there. The Jags are playing the Bills, okay? So the Bills having to go over there, and the Jags 2-2, another desperate team who hasn't been playing well, but they are getting a little bit healthier on that offensive line. Is this a sneaky spot, getting the Jags right now plus 5.5?
Absolutely. That's way too many points in the National Football League.
That's what I'm thinking, especially. I mean,
it's like you know what? I mean, Vegas doesn't make a habit of losing money or anything like that, but you see them listed, the Bills as the home team, and I feel like that has to be the only reason it's favored by 5.5. This should be like a field goal and a half line, should it not? I know the Jags have been disappointing a couple times this year, but still the National Football League, and the Jags have been playing better. They beat the hell out of the Falcons last week. I think 5.5 is too many points, John.
Man, I think you're 100% right. I really, really do. I'm looking forward to it. And again, it's your last day, so I probably need to get you a little something.
Well, last day with you.
With me. Well, I mean, since it's with, who cares about the rest of your week?
That's a great
no
point.
Offense.
That's true. I agree.
And again, no offense to the people here. I'm the most important.
Take offense. I don't care.
Yeah, dude. So here's the thing. I'm gonna get you a bottle of Tito's because it's the best vodka in the world. It's the best spirit in the world, and also they're a sponsor. And I can go to the local liquor store, and it's it's the handle of Tito's. I can get that for $33.99. Yeah, top 10 vodka by every measure. 3 years running, it's won the Vodka Tonic of the Year. Tito's Handmade Vodka. It's crafted and distilled in the United States down in Austin, Texas. 100% gluten-free. 6 times distilled. Stilled in classic copper pots. Gives it a very unique flavor, slightly sweet with the black pepper note, balancing everything out. Doesn't matter if you're crafting a cocktail or you're drinking it neat. Get your Tito's on today. I'm going to miss you, Jay, but on the other side, we're talking with our buddy Jammin Spitzer. He's doing something extremely special, running a marathon and pushing somebody very dear to him in his heart. This heartwarming story is next right here on Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Pizza lovers and sports fanatics, Ferraro's Pizzeria is your Sunday ticket headquarters. Catch every pro game on multiple big screen TVs while enjoying $2 beers, $9 beer buckets, and mouth-watering pizza. We're talking the cheesiest, most delicious New York pizzas in town with all your favorite toppings. What are you waiting for? Grab your family and friends and get to Ferraro's, corner of Jackson and Main, just east of the Pyramid. Enjoy every pro game at Ferraro's Pizzeria and Cheesy Corner, your game day destination.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. If you need a new roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. I have been serving the Memphis area for over 20 years, and now with 2 of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time it is to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies and the Redbirds and 901 FC, not to mention Tigers football and basketball, it's going to be a fun year. Thanks to Coach Silverfield and Coach Hardaway and their staffs for their dedication to the student and athletes, the University of Memphis, the City of Memphis, and us fans. Five Ash Roof Services, a proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
If you've tried to buy a Rolex watch lately, you know how difficult it is. New models are in rare supply. Some jewelers put you on wait lists. Others make you buy their other jewelry at inflated prices just to be considered for a Rolex purchase. Well, that's all changed now that Genesis Diamonds has arrived. Genesis Diamonds is the premier dealer of luxury pre-owned Rolex timepieces. People who come in are shocked to see Daytonas, Hulks, Submariners, Pepsis, Datejusts, all the hard-to-find Rolex watches ready to wear today. At Genesis, we've used our worldwide connections to find only the first luxury pre-owned Rolexes, immaculate, pristine watches, fairly priced with no strings attached, and with flexible financing options. So enough with the wait lists and the retail jeweler games. Get the Rolex of your dreams today at Genesis Diamonds. And if you already have a Rolex and are interested in trading up, we also have Rolex buyers on site every day. Just another example of how we're forever changing the jewelry landscape here. Genesis Diamonds, official jeweler of the Tennessee Titans at Poplar and Perkins Extended.
Wow, I feel good. Shopping at DriveMax. 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 You get value.
Need a car that screams I feel good? DriveMax has it all. From cars to SUVs, find a tightly inspected used car that'll have you dancing all the way home. Call 901-664-2424 or visit DriveMaxApproval.com.
DriveMax. I got approved.
But you gotta be willing to take the hit and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Jay Morgan Harder's hanging out with me. It is a Wednesday. It's a beautiful Wednesday, man. I'm not really too worried about how the weather is in the Mid-South. I'm worried about it Denver because when today's show's over, I'm heading out to a little Colorado action. Not going to see Deion Sanders and the Buffs. Going to go see a little Goose at Red Rocks. So I'm looking forward to having a little bit of fun. But before that, we're going to not just have some fun, but we're going to talk about some inspirational things. I got a buddy coming on here. It's Jamin Spitzer. He's been doing a documentary for the last 4 years on his dad, Ben Spitzer, who back in 2014 came down with Parkinson's. He's started running marathons. He's doing all kinds of wild stuff out there in this world. And he's doing something really special with his dad this week. Here is my man, Jamin Spitzer. What's up, Jamin?
Hello.
How you doing, my friend?
Hey, doing all right. How about yourself?
Man, I am absolutely blessed. Can't complain about a thing. Glad to have you on. I was checking out your Instagram page. It's Run for Ben. People should go check that out. A lot of inspirational things on out there. But I wanted to ask you first and foremost, you started doing a documentary about your dad, Ben. Tell us about the documentary and about your dad and how your life changed in 2014.
Yes, certainly. Yep, I've been working on a documentary, Run for Ben, as you mentioned. Run, and then the number 4, Ben. The documentary started during the pandemic. It was 2020. Everything was shut down. And I came across a post on Instagram from the Kirk Gibson Foundation for Parkinson's. And it said that you could run a marathon and raise money for the foundation. Kirk Gibson is a childhood hero. I mean, that's when I went to the Tiger Stadium, I'm talking about original Tiger Stadium, that was the first guy that my dad and I saw. My dad coached my baseball team when we were kids. We go to Tiger Stadium, and there's Kirk Gibson, of course, Chet Lemon, Alan Trammell, Lou Whitaker, all those guys. So when the Kirk Gibson Foundation popped up and we found that Kirk Gibson had Parkinson's, it just made sense to start running. I meant to do a marathon.
Was that your first bit of inspiration right there?
Yeah, it was. I'd done a half marathon. I'd been always, talking about doing a full marathon. And during the pandemic, I started running a little bit, for time. And I'm recently sober, and I was like, hey, I need to get on top of this. And I was running, and I saw that. That was the inspiration. I go, hey, there's no better way, to really get into this, and this gives me something to do. And I felt very helpless with Parkinson's. There's no cure. There's nothing I could do, and I felt helpless. And I was like, this is something I can do. So I signed up and started raising money for the foundation, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do like this documentary, and started turning on cameras, and I was going to do like a 10-minute YouTube thing, and now it's grown into, 3.5 years and a full big gigantic story of our lives. So,
man, that is awesome. And I also heard you said you got sober about that time in there, huh?
Yeah, I got sober about 10 months before the pandemic. And, when the world shut down, that's kind of a perfect time for, somebody who has addiction. And so I started running immediately. I was like, hey, I got to do something with my day. So it was running, and I was in Los Angeles, California, and I had already started up for like a half marathon, and then saw that, and I was like, okay, let's do this. It's time for the full marathon.
So you ran your first one in 2020, the full marathon, correct?
Yep, that's right.
And this year you're going to be running in the Detroit Marathon again, but this year I heard things are going to get a lot more special, you could say, because somehow you got a Hoyt running chair, and this is somehow going to allow you to run with your father?
Yeah, so this year I've run 3 marathons since 2020, all by myself. And then this year I want to run with my dad. My dad has been in a home now. He can't walk. He can't, excuse me, I get emotional when I talk about it. And he was in his room, and I was like, hey, we got to get outside, Dad. And I went to Facebook, to Instagram, and I said, I need some help purchasing this Hoyt chair. And it's a special running chair made by the folks over at Hoyt Running Chairs. And it allows my dad to sit in the chair because he can't walk or run, and allows me to push behind him. And now we get to run the streets of Detroit together for the first time ever. And I'm just so excited to be able to be there with him. We've already done some training runs, and just getting out with him is so special.
Man, that is special. You can hear it in your voice. That's pretty.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And again, the fact that Kirk Gibson is kind of how everybody remembers his home run in the '88 World Series with the Dodgers, but his roots are right there in Detroit. You're in Detroit doing this. The Lions are playing good football. You got the Hoyt running chair. It's like it just feels like it's a really good time. And I also heard, you can go to runforben.com and check out the work that you have for your documentary. But I believe you have a GoFundMe page right now to try to help offset some of these costs.
Yeah, so the big thing that we're doing is, and the thing that started everything is raising money for the Kirk Gibson Foundation for Parkinson's, which helps those who have Parkinson's. So the big thing is we are...
And those families as well, right? Because that's...
You got it.
The person who comes down with Parkinson's.
It's not just my dad. I only knew about Michael J. Fox and Muhammad Ali, and I didn't know anything about it. So the documentary is hopefully to connect people and show, hey, you're not alone. Here's what we go through. It's going to be okay. And so that's a big part of the documentary. And then the foundation, it helps to connect and make a community. And that's the first time I had found a community, was being with the foundation. So to give back, we've been raising money, but this year our big goal is to do $23,000 to raise that money while we're running for this marathon. And anybody who can donate, obviously, we'd love to help out. It all goes to the foundation, and anybody can go to Run for Ben. Again, that's the number 4ben.com/donate, and it'll allow you to click and donate as my dad and I run. So we'll keep running, and we'd love the support.
When's the date? When's the big run?
So it's Sunday, October 15th, and we'll be heading out.
It's right around the corner, my man.
Yeah, it is. I just ran 6 miles this morning. I'm like, okay, let's review this interview.
All right. So you're in shape. You're ready to go. You got your Hoyt chair and everything. And you said you've test driven this bad boy out. How awesome is something like this? And how big is it for somebody like your father to be able to get around? And also, how big is it for you, his son, to be able to out there and get him outside and push him around?
It's huge. First, I just want to thank everybody. We did a GoFundMe for that, and we had everybody show up with donations, specifically another foundation that helps with Parkinson's Drive Toward a Cure, and Deb has been phenomenal. But to be able to have my dad with me and to have that chair, let me tell you, the people at Hoyt, I drove out there to pick up this chair and met with Mike and his son, the guys who fabricate these things. They do a bunch of these chairs, but treated me like they had just specially done this just for me, and it was like my special chair. It's amazing. And to be able to have the lighter chair, because with the training, I've been pushing my dad in like an 85-pound chair that's not made for running. This one is like, a Cadillac of running chairs. It's fantastic. And just to be like, I've gone through the streets, I've seen people cheering, they see my shirts and they're like, go run for Ben. To be with my dad, he's my hero. Johnny. He's my hero. And to be able to do this with him, there's no words for it. There's no words,
Jammin', I'll just say one thing. To honor your dad the way you've been doing it, and to keep fighting for your father, to help him get the things, to be inspired by Kirk Gibson, a childhood hero, to go out there and run the marathon in Detroit. Inspiration to me and to all of us out here listening. We wish you nothing but the best. We'll be keeping an eye on you. Everybody, please go to runforben.com if you can, help out and support. Everything there is on the link. The Kirk Gibson Foundation is there, about his father, about him. The documentary, I'm sure, will be released as soon as that bad boy's done. Is there anything else?
We just launched the fundraising, so get on it early. And, this whole thing is culminating. And this is our last run. It happens to be our 4th marathon. After this, we're going to wrap up the documentary. This is the big finale with my dad, and then we're super excited to get this and let everybody enjoy the journey that we've been on for the last 4 years now.
After you get back in the lab, after this big run and you shoot all this video and you go in there and you edit and cut it up, before, you release that bad boy, come on the show again and let's talk about it. Is that cool?
Oh, my gosh, yeah, of course. I'll be in touch.
All right, my man. Hey, you have a good one, man. Appreciate you jamming and all that you're doing for your father, your Parkinson, and your family, and, your overall health.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. It means a lot. You all have a wonderful day, and to everybody listening, love y'all. Thank you so much.
That is Jammin' Spitzer, a very, very big inspiration. Now, we here got to switch gears just a little bit on the other side. We got to close things out. We got a couple games tonight, got a couple other stories we got to break. So we'll be back in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Don't you dare touch the dial. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Want to play a private country club but only pay daily greens fees? Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis is your place. You can now play a beautiful, challenging course for only $59 plus tax, including cards. Meadowbrook Country Club features champion Bermuda greens and now is available to everyone. A membership is only $350 per month and includes tennis, pickleball, and swimming, plus a great restaurant and bar. Golf Pro Mark can even fix you up with custom-made tricks on clubs. Call 870-394-4186 today for your Tuesday through Sunday tee time at Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis.
Want to know how to get the same cell coverage for up to half the cost? Well, instead of spending a fortune building and maintaining their own cell phone towers, Consumer Cellular just pays to use the same towers as the largest carriers and passes the savings on to you. Pretty smart, huh? Consumer Cellular. When freedom calls, we're here to answer. Call us at 1-888-FREEDOM.
Half the cost savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single-line 5GB data plan with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single-line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plan offered by T-Mobile and Verizon May 2023.
This holiday season, Conway Services, part of the ARS network, would like to recognize those making a difference in our communities. Through our national ARS Cares Community Heroes program, we want to give back to a community hero for the positive impact they have made by giving them a new heating and cooling system or water heater. Take a minute to nominate your deserving community hero in need by visiting ars.com/ARS Cares.
Rich Eisen here, and if you're enjoying this game and want to be in the game every day, there's something the guys here in my show studio have been enjoying. Prize Picks Daily Fantasy Sports, the #1 daily fantasy sports app. If you're eager to test your knowledge and skills, play the game enjoyed by millions and join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million football fans who have already signed up. Don't sit on the sidelines this season. Join the guys in my studio today and see how your picks stack up with them and your fellow fans. And the guys just told me that Prize Picks matched their first deposit up to $100. Do the same for yourself when you visit prizepicks.com/primetime and use code primetime. That's primetime at prizepicks.com/primetime. Prize Picks, daily fantasy made easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Memphis's oldest restaurant, Coletta's, was established in 1923 to give Memphians the best Italian food possible. And I'd say they got it right. They are the creators of the barbecue pizza. It was Elvis's favorite, and I know for a fact that a large will feed one person all weekend. If you need to feed several, though, Coletta's caters any event. Choose from homemade lasagna, ravioli, Alfredo, primavera, and so many other delicious items you can't help but enjoy. Impress employees or clients and treat them to Coletta's for lunch or dinner. Plan ahead and get your holiday party booked at Coletta's. Elvis's favorite place to go eat with his buddies at the South Parkway location, and Coletta's even has an Elvis room dedicated to him. Call Coletta's on South Parkway at 948-7652 or Appling Road at 383-1122. Coletta's. It was Elvis's favorite, and it should be yours too.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 120 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats to watch the playoff games and to watch all the basketball. It's so easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk, chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
I have this one little saying, when things get too heavy, just call me helium.
Now, back to Sports 56 Happy Hour on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Tito's Vodka. Here once again, Johnny Radio.
Welcome back to a little Sports 56 Happy Hour. I'm your buddy Johnny Radio. Jay Morgan Harder's hanging out with me. Did you know it is October 4th?
I did.
It's Wednesday, October 4th.
Knew all of these things.
Do you know what October 4th is, Mr. Jay Morgan?
Locktober.
I love Locktober. And by the way, Paramount Sports, Lee Sterling strikes again. Dude, Oregon State, he gave you the Beavers. Beavers gave you everything you wanted and a little bit more, and then he destroyed it all over the weekend. Thank you, Lee. But no, today is National Taco Day. Did you know that?
Wow. Let's talk about it.
Bro, that was pretty funny. Good job, Jay.
Thank you.
I'm going to miss you, buddy. Happy National Taco Day to everybody. And you know who Moe's is? Moe's Southwest Grill?
Oh, yeah.
Right now, they got taco kits. You can pick them up in 30 minutes. Call in, order a taco kit. It can feed anywhere from 4 to 6 people. It's ready in minutes. Head on over to Moe's for National Taco Day. Nothing like a good taco, you know what I'm saying? I love tacos.
Me too.
I'm kind of hungry right now. I guess I'm going to be headed to Moe's. Now, we have to make some more money today, and we have to have a lot of fun doing a bunch of stuff. And we had a little bit of news, you know? I forgot what the news was, Jay. Do you remember what it was?
No, I've been over here doing some producing work. You know, producer extraordinaire.
You are a producer extraordinaire. I'll give you that.
No, John, that's the type of thing that'll get me in trouble. I'll get
but
a big
the news,
head
I remembered what the news was. James Harden, by the way, actually showed up to practice. Can you believe it?
Wow.
Is that not big news?
No, it is. He said he would never play for James Dolan again, right? Not James Dolan. James Dolan.
Daryl Morey.
Wouldn't play for Daryl Morey ever again.
Yeah, Daryl Morey. No, yeah, he don't like him at all. But, man, the fact that he was at practice, I don't know, is that – do you think that mean they can – like, I feel like all relationships couldn't be mended, don't you?
Yeah, mending offenses, as it were.
I mean, like, we have to forgive and forget. You know, a lot of people like to have fights because they like makeup.
Sex.
Yes, because that's probably the best part about fighting, isn't it?
Is the makeup sex?
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole reason I think people get into fights, to be honest with you. It gets a little boring at home. Next thing you know, they have a big blowout. Next thing you know, they're happy and having a great time for about a full week.
Have you ever seen the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Who's in it? Is it got Will Smith in it?
No, it's man, who in the world is in that
Mr. and
movie?
Mrs. I don't know, dude. It obviously wasn't very good if you don't remember.
No, it is a good movie, but I just can't remember who was in it.
What was the point? They got in a fight to have makeup sex?
They're two assassins that both is an assassin and the other one doesn't know.
I got you. Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie.
Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, and each one doesn't know the other one is an assassin.
I don't think I even ever saw the show.
But it was a very popular movie.
Yeah,
like
I know,
you seen it
like
advertised.
they showed a bunch of advertising.
And that's like a whole thing. Is like they get mad at each other because each one of them didn't tell the other one they were an assassin, and it becomes hot and heavy, as it were, steamy.
Yeah, I like that. I don't think they probably have
Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie in it, John.
Yeah, I got it back.
I think
what was the whole point of me bringing that up?
I don't know, man.
Why did I start talking about people fighting?
I don't know. For the makeup sex.
Damn, there was something. Oh, because maybe Deshaun Watson and the Browns are going to become friends again.
Perhaps.
Because they're fighting. Oh, no, because we can mend fences. James Harden is at practice with the 76ers. Sorry, I got a little bit off track. It's the last segment of my show before I go get on an airplane and get out of here. My brain's already checked out.
And I'm not helping you much either because I'm doing other things too, so I can't help with your train of thought because God bless me for even having an inkling of what the train of thought is today.
I'm proud of you for on your last day for trying. It's all about effort right now. I appreciate you putting in that work. Rangers and the Rays, we know what we're doing today in that ball game. It's huge. I'm taking Tampa Bay. We're backing Zach Eflin big time. We're going over in Zach Eflin's strikeouts. We're loading up on the Rays. And did we have another one? I forgot. Was it Evaldi? Like getting killed over 5 hits?
Yeah, no. I have it's Zach Gallen to allow over 5.5 hits, but we're fading Evaldi and the Rays over 2.5 runs first 5 innings.
That's right, Rays over 2.5 runs. I love the Twins today. I'm a big Sonny Gray guy. I think Barrios is going to get hit up again. My man Royce Lewis is doing all kinds of nasty things. Correa's back. Byron Buxton. I like this Twins team. They looked a little excited, and I think Pablo Lopez, the way he shut down that Blue Jays lineup is the same thing that Sonny Gray is going to do today. Brewers had 12 hits yesterday. They just were horrible in the base paths. The defense from the Diamondbacks was awesome. But I think they have a huge pitching matchup right now, huge advantage. Freddie Peralta has been dealing. Zach Gallen, on the other hand, has been terrible. We got Zach Gallen pitching a lot today. I think he gives up over 5 hits for sure.
Agreed.
So everybody do your best and back that man, if you know what I'm saying. And then the last game, you got to take the value. And the value is with the Marlins.
It is. But Braxton Garrett over 1.5 walks, I think that's a good way to make sure you win something on that game.
Now, I'm going out of town, so y'all are going to miss me, I hope. Maybe not. But Bob, if you get a little bit bored because I'm not on the airwaves, go over to Meadowbrook Country Club. That's right. I know it was private since 1959. Not anymore. Become a member for a day. $59. That includes your taxes, your cart, and 18 holes on their champion Bermuda greens. Par 71, 4 tee boxes. Meadowbrook, it is awesome. It's 10 minutes from downtown. If you want to be a member, if you live downtown in Mud Island, maybe River Tower, you're partying down there, 10 minutes from downtown, you can be a member for only $350. That means you get golf, the swimming pool, the tennis courts, the pickleball, the bar, the restaurant. You get it all, man. I hope everybody has a wonderful one. Jay, I will miss you. Everybody else, get out there and make the world a better place. We're going to see you on the flip side. Peace.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect